I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 M's in my bank account. Yeah, 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 in my bank account. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Guys, Extra Fives here, and I know I'm not Dylan, I'm his friend Jordan, and I'm gonna send this video to Dylan so he can post this on YouTube. So that's it. And so I think, well, what's with the mix-up? You're probably wondering. Well, me and Dylan agreed to share videos on Extra Fives, so yeah, I'm here to talk about Child's Play, made in 1988. So here we go. So the movie begins with a foot chase with Charles Lee Ray and Detective Norris. And Norris shoots Charles Lee Ray in the leg, and Eddie Caputo drives off, leaving Charles Lee Ray behind. So he goes, so Charles Lee Ray goes into like a toy store, and uh, Norris finds him there and shoots him, and Charles Lee Ray stumbles, and he was about to die soon, so he goes in the good guy aisle, and he finds one of the good guys, and he does a chant that says, that is like, De Duita Bella, and that stuff, and the toy store explodes.
It was Andy's birthday, and while he's making breakfast for his mom, he could see a commercial, that's for Good Guy dolls, and like he was so fascinated by getting one, and then whenever breakfast was ready, he went to go in his mom's room, and with permission of his mom to open presents first, and in fact his mom said yes, and so like whenever Andy opens the giant box, um, it was just a bunch of clothes, not a Good Guy doll, and there was another present, but it was a tool, toy, and then Andy's mother explained why she didn't save up for uh, the Good Guy doll, and while she was at work, her friend Karen saw saw a guy with the cart, and he had a Good Guy doll. So Karen, I meant, buys the Good Guy doll for Andy. Then Karen's friend Maggie decides to watch Andy, and whenever Andy goes to sleep, Chucky is on the couch watching the news after Maggie turned it off, and so she puts both of the boys to bed. While she was reading, Chucky snuck past her, but she thought it was Andy. Whenever she discovered flour on the floor, she tried to clean it up, but then Chucky hammered her to the face, and she fell off the building, and Karen heard the news and rushed home, finding Andy with Detective Norris, and Detective Norris decides to check out Andy's shoes for any flour, and then Andy notices there's some flour on Chucky's shoe, and he rushes to tell Detective Norris and his mom, and they didn't believe him. So that night, whenever Andy was talking to his mother about Aunt Maggie and stuff, she still didn't believe Andy. Then later, Andy was called over to the detective station along with his mom, and Andy tries to make Chucky talk, and he said to his mom that if he ever talked about him, then he'd kill him, or mention anything about him. Chucky would kill Andy. And then they said they wanted Andy at like a mental hospital, while Karen goes home and makes Chucky talk. And then whenever she discovered that she didn't put batteries in Chucky, she goes and check, and she opens the back of Chucky's lid, and then Chucky jump scares her by saying, "Hi, I'm Chucky. You want to play?" That made Karen jump. Whenever she's lighting the fire, Chucky finally talks, and he escapes. Whenever Karen rushes to Detective Norris to find the bite mark um and stuff. That was all. Norris was driving. Chucky snuck up right behind him and tried to choke him, but Norris didn't give up. He got a cigarette lighter and struck Chucky right in the face. And then Chucky ran off whenever the car flipped over, and then Norris tried to shoot him a couple of times, but Chucky got away. But then the last time he tried to shoot Chucky, it shot Chucky right in the shoulder. And so the next morning, Chucky decides to go see his voodoo instructor, John, which Chucky demanded that he needed to get out of the doll, the good guy doll, and body, and John refuses until Chucky grabs the voodoo doll of John and breaks his legs and breaks his arm until John finally talks, and Chucky got all the information he needed, and then he finishes John off by stabbing him right in the heart.
Chucky does his chant as usual, and then Karen and Norris rush down up some flights of stairs, and then once they rush in through the door, Chucky attacks Karen and then attacks Norris. While Norris is fighting Chucky grabs a bat and stabs Norris through the stomach, and then Karen grabs a gun and shoots Chucky through the leg, and then Chucky attacks Karen by the fireplace, and then Karen throws him in the fireplace and tries to reach for the match, but Andy does it, and Chucky tries to plead with him, saying that they're friends to the end, but Andy says that was the end, friend. Then lights Chucky on fire, and then he goes everywhere. And then while Andy was grabbing bandages, he noticed that Chucky escaped. And then Chucky stabs through the door, and then he goes to the bathroom door, and Aaron gets cut by Chucky. And then Norris's cop partner comes into the house, and Norris tells him his cop partner don't touch the head, and so he betrayed him. What Norris said and touches it, and then in the air, then Chucky's body pops out, and then he was choking him, and Karen throws the body into the wall, and then Norris shoots him in the heart. Blood splatters everywhere, and Chucky died. And then Chucky says one last phrase. It was, "I'm Chucky, you want to play?" And then while they were going to the hospital, Andy saw Chucky's body, and the screen froze of him halfway closing the door. That's all I have to say. This has been Extra 5, so I'm Jordan.